Hey everyone, welcome back to the Tactical Insight Show here on AFTV. I'm here with Graham because Arsenal have gone and picked up another 3 points and set up quite a mouth-watering North London derby. We're going to talk about all that, obviously. And actually what we don't normally do in these shows is then look ahead to the next game and really depict what we want to see. But it's coming back around so quickly. All the focus from today, really, after this show, is going to be on that game. So we are going to talk about it and be giving everyone, you know, our thoughts on what we want to see. But we've got a lot to break down here. And what was a good win against Leeds?
Yeah, it was a much-needed win, a good win, a bit nervy at the end. But I thought for most of the game, we dominated the game. And as we're going to see today, when we look at the stats, the breakdown of particularly the stats up high when we attacked, I thought we dominated that game, controlled the game, obviously gave away a bad goal. But in the end, I thought it was a more comfortable win than the scoreline suggested, James.
I think so too. And it's frustrating because I said it in my fan cam, and I wondered whether I was being a bit dramatic, but a lot of people seem to share a similar sentiment. I wanted a scoreline that reflected how good we were, because I thought we were a lot better than Leeds.
We were, and the match stats, I think, show it. Obviously helped by the fact that Luke Ayling was sent off.
Well, should we show them? Yeah, let's bring them up, the match stats, yeah.
After half an hour, Luke Ayling was sent off, and rightly so. But I thought that we started the game, James, really well, really aggressive with our pressing, and we'd scored 2 goals in the first 10 minutes. And one of the reasons I think why Luke Ayling was sent off, because he was so stressed out on that right-hand side, the way we played on our left-hand side up high, and we're going to talk about that today. But here's the match stats, as you say, 19 shots for us to their 3, 9 on target to their 2, totally dominating possession you'd expect when they're down to 10 for 2/3 of the game, outpassed them, pass accuracy a lot higher, obviously, and the XG was massively in our favour as well. So, yeah, the stats really reflected a dominant Arsenal performance, if not the scoreline reflected a dominant performance.
And actually what I like about these stats is, or certainly, you know, when you send over the numbers, is sure you can look at that. Okay, I've mentioned it says pass accuracy. It's actually the XG, so my bad there. There's an error on the graphic. But you know, yes, our XG is 2.85 to 0.51. Yes, we've had more shots, but you sent me some more detailed stats that I think show Arsenal's dominance. Not just in terms of getting shots at goal, because sometimes you can have really good passing sequences or good moves or sustained pressure, and it doesn't necessarily lead to a shot. And these next stats here kind of paint that picture. What have we got here, Graham?
Well, this shows how much we dominated the game, how much of the game was played in the Leeds third of the pitch. We totally outplayed them all these numbers. 85 final third entries to their 14, 55 deep touches to their 9, 39 progressive passes to their 8, and 45 zone 14 touches. That's the zone straight outside the penalty box, and we had 15 touches in the box there too. This was, I think, a very dominant Arsenal display in the way that we managed the game, the way we controlled the football. And it started right from the start, James. I think you have to say that even before they went down to 10 men, I thought we were outstanding, setting the tone for the game in the first 15 minutes. I wanted Arsenal to come out fast. I wanted Arsenal to be aggressive. And they were that, everything that we wanted at the start of the game. And I think the tone was set, James, by the aggressive pressing right from the start.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to break down that press now. Just to let you guys know, as you know, we are live on YouTube, so send in your comments. Any questions you got, any thoughts about this game ahead of the North London derby. Yeah, get your questions in and we will be taking time to answer some of them. We've got a lovely comment here from Aaron, says, I'm off today, so get the chance to watch this live. Love the show. Aaron, a big thank you. Okay. We really, really appreciate it. Ray says, afternoon, Gooners. Yeah, we're still morning here in the UK, just nearly the afternoon. We get a lot done in the morning, don't we, to prep all this in time. Sublime says, hi, Gooners. And Tom says, Cedric looked a bit dodgy at times to him. I thought Cedric had a good game, but we know Cedric has those moments where he kind of gets caught in possession sometimes.
I think before we go into it, I will say that obviously the key decision for Arteta pre-game was whether Benjamin White was going to be fit.
Sure.
And obviously he decided to stay with Rob Holding. Rob Holding was outstanding defensively at West Ham. And the other key decision for him really was up high. Did he bring back Smith Rowe or stick with Martinelli? Martinelli only 1 goal in his last 17 games. Wasn't great against West Ham, but he did create the assist for the goal. and he tweaked the system slightly, as we're going to see. Tomiyasu came back in and played on the left-hand side, which we're going to talk about. Tomiyasu's role in this game. I thought he had an outstanding performance.
Yeah.
And I think it was interesting that he put Cedric on the right-hand side. Nuno, who didn't have such a great game last week, made way for Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu, I thought, was brought back in because of his experience, the way he could deal with Rafinha. Rafinha was their main attacking threat. And also because I think he had a big part to play in the way I think Arsenal shifted, not only in shape, but the way they played up high on that left-hand side, James.
Yeah, it's funny. We talk about Tomiyasu and experience, and you're right. You're absolutely right. But I think he's still only 22, 23. I mean,
he's such a great defender.
He really is.
He looks like he's been around for years, doesn't he?
I think he's going to get minutes as a centre-back for Arsenal in the coming years. But anyway, that's we will talk about Tomiyasu's position, his role, and how brilliant he was in this game. Because he was absolutely outstanding. But let's touch on Arsenal's press first. We've got more comments coming in. Do send them in, guys, and we will be responding and reacting, as I said. The Arsenal press, led by Eddie Nketiah. I mean, it's something... When I watch Arsenal and I talk about where I see improvements throughout the season and game by game, I do see us becoming a better pressing, more cohesive unit week in, week out. We pressed better. We pressed better yesterday than we did when we played Watford at home or Newcastle at home back in the autumn. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about this goal. So Luke Ayling's got the ball, and you were quite impressed with that front four and Xhaka cutting out the space to clip. Talk us through it.
Yeah, I thought what we saw from this set the tone very early on, and we scored really immediately from the mistake from the goalkeeper. But Luke Ayling, when he gets the ball here, has got very little options on, and that's because of the way we've pressed up high, the way we've moved up almost like to a 4-3-3 shape. So as you can see there from the graphic that you've got there, you're going to have Martinelli is going to press on to Ayling. Ayling, his options are very limited here because Nketiah is straight on Koch, the centre half. He's pressing him straight away.
Yeah.
Xhaka is literally up high, blocking the pass into Click in central midfield there. And then you've got Tomiyasu on the left-hand side up there with Rafinha. So when Luke Ayling gets the ball here at the start of the game, his options here are very limited. And then you've got Martin Odegaard, who did a really good job. His job really was to press on to Phillips in midfield. So there's the passing lanes are all blocked for Luke Ayling, and I think it's great that we sort of like went really aggressive with the press early on. We identified this area as a possible area where we could have some joy. But what it does need, it needs a mobile forward, somebody who's going to have the ability to sprint quickly if he goes back to the goalkeeper, and this is what happens here.
Luke
Nketiah, and full credit to him. He's come in. He's scored now 4 goals in 4 games, 2 in this game, of course. But it's his work rate, his appetite, his hunger, his desire, his ability to close down space quickly. That's what you get when you've got a mobile forward. You know, Lacazette could not do this, of course. So when Ayling gets the ball, James, he's going to roll this graphic on. He's got no options on. He's going to have to go back to the goalkeeper. He goes back to the goalkeeper, and I'll let you take it over from there.
And by the time, just before Nketiah gets there, you know, we've seen Bukayo Saka has gone to Llorente. Odegaard's cutting out Phillips. Nketiah is making the run he's making is blocking the pass back to Koch. You've got Cedric who's coming all the way across to Firpo, and then he puts it in the back of the net. And it looks simple, but you can't do that without a cohesive press, because it's not just about Nketiah being fast and mobile and willing. It's about the fact that Meslier and Ayling in those situations don't know where else to go. So we are forcing them into areas where then the mistakes can happen. Yeah. But it's about triggering that and frustration. I saw online a few saying, you know, they've just gifted another goal to Arsenal. You know, same with Chelsea, they gifted a goal. Yes, you're right, because Christensen's made a mistake. Meslier's made a mistake. Absolutely agree. You don't normally see that.
You force a mistake, James.
That's exactly the point I was going to make. It's so easy to just reduce it down to errors and not give Arsenal credit. They've done that, Leeds, because Arsenal know Leeds want to play out the back and aren't going to compromise on their principle. They therefore deploy a really high press and they suffocate them into areas where they could make mistakes. then they take advantage. I think Arsenal and Arteta deserve more credit for that than just, oh, Leeds have just put it in the back of their own net, lucky Arsenal.
And we shifted and shaped to a 4-3-3, which we're going to talk about during the show. And this is shown in this goal, really, because Xhaka is up high in the left-hand half space. Tomiyasu is up high as well. And Tomiyasu was either up high, underlapping, or inside, almost like playing at number 10 at times in this game. So, and he was instrumental when we went up down that left-hand side, making that left-hand side, which didn't work very well against West Ham last week, worked really well against Leeds. And then, as you can see, Xhaka is blocking off the pass into central midfield. Odegaard's blocking off the other pass into central midfield. And Ayling has really got very little options on. And this is worked on. This is not something that the players would have just done. Arteta, they clearly worked on this on the training ground. And when you do this sort of thing, you do force an error. The goalkeeper, I think, he thinks he has more time than he has. And he takes a slightly heavier touch. But the reason he takes a slightly heavier touch is because Nketiah has got to him so fast. When you've got a forward who's got that ability to really chase down and get quickly onto a goalkeeper, put him under pressure, that forces the error.
Yeah, I completely agree. You mentioned shape. Let's talk about Arsenal's shape. Because it was a really interesting setup. Tomiyasu comes into the 11. And I'm thinking immediately, okay, he wants Cedric at left back. And he probably thinks he's more dependable than Tavares. And he's looking ahead to the derby. It wasn't that. It was Tomiyasu at left back. Let's show the shape. Here's the 2 11s. And we're breaking out into what Arsenal looks like on the ball. And we've given Gabriel... Oh, we had given Gabriel the ball there. Let's give him the ball now. But yeah, talk us through the shape.
Yeah, I thought that when the teams come out, obviously Tomiyasu on the left-hand side instead of Nuno. Thought that he would be more inverted in this game and probably not be the one to be up high so much on that left-hand side. And Cedric would be the one more up high, if anything. But I think Tomiyasu, out of possession, was so disciplined, inverted when he had to be. But when we had the ball, he also got forward. And we thought that Elneny and Xhaka would be in a 2, in a pivot, but it wasn't. It was almost like a 4-3-3. Xhaka was slightly higher forward on the left-hand side, like he had been in previous games before Elneny come into the team. So enormous credit to Mohamed Elneny, James, because he was holding that lone 6 role that Partey has made his own this season, I think. And we didn't think he was capable of doing that maybe as well as Partey, but he did yesterday. So this shape, as you can see, is almost like a 4-3-3. You've got your build up, you've got your 2 centre backs there, and then you've got like Cedric who can either come back or go forward. Then you've got Cedric there with Elneny. You've got Xhaka slightly high. Then you've got Tomiyasu looking to get high and underlap. I thought that was the key. He was underlapping, not overlapping. And I think the difference from the West Ham game was last week we talked about Martinelli struggled with a combination with Nuno because Nuno was very chaotic, not making the most of overlapping, and Martinelli was very narrow and not so effective. Martinelli in this game, and we're going to show by his numbers, went back to doing what he does really well, almost like a touchline winger coming inside. And he had the width. Tomiyasu was coming forward into the half space. Xhaka was pushing up, and those 3 had a lovely little combination going for most of the game, even before Ayling got sent off. And I think that was a subtle tweak to the shape away from what we saw against West Ham.
Was it just me who felt Tomiyasu and Xhaka had a really good understanding in terms of who the supporting cast of Martinelli was going to be? So
yeah, definitely.
So when Martinelli does come wide and he's hugging the touchline, sometimes you're right, Tomiyasu would bomb on either underlap, come into this space to offer for a 1-2. How many times did we see Arsenal try that with Martinelli? But then Xhaka would almost sit, and there was almost this constant Arsenal shield, I suppose, kind of in front of the back 2, just constantly controlling midfield and keeping everything ticking. But when Xhaka did get forward, which sometimes he did, then you've got Tomiyasu, who, I mean, has got all the attributes to slot in and cover there as well. I thought it was a really clever way of ensuring that we asked different questions of Leeds, but we had a base that would allow Martinelli to just go and attack, outside, inside, whatever it was, look for 1-2s. And there was a real platform for him and then Odegaard and Nketiah to then build off.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that we identified their fullbacks as their weak links, Ayling and Firpo, particularly Firpo. I thought, although it was more the left-hand side, we had our joy in the first half. And we did identify, I think, that Saka would obviously be give him a really hard game, and I think he did give him a hard game. But I think in this game, up high, we identified their fullbacks as their weak links, and our wide players were almost like our creators. We played directly a lot of like direct balls to get our wide players on the ball and get our supporting cast up around them to create. And I think they were the outlets in this game. Martinelli on the left and Saka on the right. Particularly Martinelli, and I thought Martinelli had an outstanding game. Didn't take his chances in the second half, but he's got an assist again, 5th Premier League assist of the season, by the way. And I thought he had a really barnstorming game. Gave Ayling a lot of problems. I think what Ayling did to him was a combination of the fact that he was under stress from the way Martinelli started the game so positively, putting him under pressure. I was surprised Leeds went for this formation, actually, a 4-2-3-1. I thought that against Man City with a back three, they were better, more solid, and they stopped the attacking and the passing game of Man City better, but they were more open with James coming into the team. James, who played more central in this game. Obviously, he's got a bit of pace, we know that. But I thought that the thing was for Leeds, they were hoping that obviously by moving Rafinha back to out wide, that they were going to get him in some good positions against. They may be thinking that Nuno was going to be playing.
Yeah, they probably did.
And they probably thought Nuno, and they'd have some joy there. But Tomiyasu came in and literally just shut him down.
Yeah.
And I think Rafinha was back defending not very well, because I think a lot of the game he was very narrow, not supporting Ayling, and the fact that Ayling was getting no support led to that awful challenge that saw him carded in the 30th minute. But I know that came before we scored a very good second goal, James.
Absolutely. And just before we go into that second goal, let's go into some into some comments. Liz says, do you think Spurs will try sit back against us? The teams that sit back against us tend to get the most joy. We are going to talk about what we think is going to happen in the North London derby, so do stick around for that towards the end of the show. Logic says, Cedric is dynamite, get him off set pieces though. What else have we got? Mohammed says, Tomiyasu, Gabriel, Holding, White is the back four he wants to see. Interesting. I hadn't thought about it that way, actually. That's an option. Maybe Holding keeps his place. Also played really, really well. Reddy says the team played really well. He's happy. Scott says Xhaka takes better free kicks than Cedric. Revolutional says Ben White will be right back. Holding, Gabriel with Tommy left back calling it. Now, okay, a few people going for that. I hadn't really thought about it. Charlotte asks if Liverpool in the Champions League would both 4th and 5th qualify. Unfortunately not. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. I think someone said there might be an audio issue or two, but we will look into that. Prakash says Odegaard is literally orchestrating the press. Absolutely, he's a big part of it and a big part of that first goal we scored. Logic says Odegaard is Premier League signing of the season. In terms of value for money, I mean, 34 million. What a signing he's been. Prakash also says this is top class coaching and then execution by the players. Absolutely agree. Keep sending your comments in and we will keep looking at them. We did talk about Tomiyasu and his role in that goal. So only right we look at his numbers as well. You sent these through last night, Graham. 11 progressive passes. Which is, I mean, they're all pretty impressive stats. I like that last one in particular. Yeah,
he was actually first for progressive passes. 11 in the game. He was actually our 3rd best player for passes into the box with 3, and 100% cross accuracy and 40 out of 40 final third passes. Shows a side to his game that probably we've seen in glitches during the season. He has got forward well and supported on the right hand side. We are used to those numbers though, aren't we? Dribbles past 0.
Yeah.
This is what he does defensively. He literally shut down Rafinha on that side. Both sides of his game there, fantastic numbers, a brilliant performance. And, it's great to see him back. It's his first full game back at the Emirates, I think, since the Man City game on New Year's Day.
Yeah, Prakash says very clever by Arteta to put Tommy on the left, not only for Rafinha but to release Martinelli, priming him for the North London derby. Martinelli was bombing as much, wasn't was bombing as much because of Nuno. I think he said he wasn't doing it as much because obviously Nuno Tavares likes to get forward. Sam says, people are saying to keep the same back line against Spurs, but I worry about Cedric against Son. I'd be more comfortable having Tomiyasu back on the right to be better placed up against Son. I agree, and we are going to touch on that a little bit later. Joe asking, would you give Nketiah a 1-year contract? That is very much the talk as well around contracts. I think we know Elneny is in talks for a new deal, potentially, according to David Ornstein. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens. There's a lot of players whose contracts are coming to an end, and decisions need to be made on them. Let's look at Arsenal's second goal. Now, this is something you said it when we were doing this prep. I love talking about the cutback, and I'm going to do it again because from maybe not day one, but very early in Arteta's Arsenal career, he tried to get us learning how to work the ball into wide spaces and then how to be effective with our crosses from those areas. Now, there was a long time where, do you remember Arsenal getting criticised for always pumping the ball into the box and nothing happening? But actually, even before all that, he was trying to coach the team to get to the byline and find a cutback. And when I say cutback, I mean not just, a low-driven ball into a space and hoping someone's going to put it into the back of the net. But it's actually diverting the ball away from where the defenders are running towards, and therefore having that little bit more space just to stroke it home and put the team a goal or two up or whatever it's going to be. So what we see with this goal here, Martinelli's out on the touchline. You talked about that back three of Leeds that they played against City. I wonder whether Rafinha was asked to sort of track Martinelli a lot of the time, because it did feel that they had a couple one-on-one duels. Martinelli sort of wriggles away and he's driving towards the penalty area. I'm going to stop it there. What you often see players do is just put their foot through it and hit it in between that spot where Meslier and Llorente are. Now, it helps obviously that Nketiah and Odegaard have sort of sat back and they've got the call and they're dictated to Martinelli where they want the ball to be. But sometimes there might be a player in that space anyway. There might be an obvious player to sort of hit and you hope that they're just going to tap it in. But the cutback is away from the defenders, and it's by design. We've done this so many times. Do you remember when we beat Bournemouth in the FA Cup and Nketiah scored a very similar goal? Was it Martinelli or Saka? I can't remember. But Martinelli and Saka were having a lot of joy down the left-hand side. Cutback, and Nketiah is there to sweep it away. He's done this quite a few times. Been on the end of a cutback. A few I remember in the Community Shield against Liverpool. We didn't score, but again, the move and the patterns were there. Arsenal have been doing this under Arteta for a long, long time. And it's not always come off, but I think over time they're getting more used to what it is he wants them to do. Things are becoming second nature. Yeah. It doesn't feel as forced or as overcoached as how many times we used that word before. And it looks seamless and it looks great on the eye. But again, it's by design. It's not just... Sometimes these things look easy. It looks like a cutback and a tap in, but it's not. It's all on purpose. It's all by design, and I want to make sure we get the credit in to the players for executing it, but the manager who's clearly worked on that on the touchline.
Yeah, and I thought that I think Eddie knows what's going to happen once Martinelli gets the better of his man. Eddie holds his run really well, so I think he knows what to expect. As that attack develops, Eddie's the one with his arm up, wanting the ball. Yeah. Martinelli is the one who's going to look to try and find him. I think it's a coached move, the cutback and the way they do it. He sort of holds his position. And what I like about what Eddie did there was he put it away with his wrong foot. He adjusted his body shape really well to take it on his weaker foot and sweep it away. It was a really good move, great play by Martinelli, and a superb finish. Because what happens is when Martinelli sort of like gets the better of his two markers, that attracts I think it's Llorente, isn't it? Who gets pulled across to the right hand side, which opens up the space for once Martinelli puts it across for Eddie to sweep it away. But for all that, he adjusts his feet really well to sweep it away. It's a fine team goal, and it's a really lovely. You're right about the finish. It's kind of once he's got to it, he's almost had to just open his body up and let his foot guide, because the cross has power on it. He just needs to then guide it. Yeah, and it's a really lovely finish. Again, can look easy. It's really not. So fair play to Eddie there. And let's talk about Martinelli's numbers, because we've touched on him. Only right we
go through what the stats are saying. Talk us through them, Graham.
Well, yeah, absolutely fine game. And the thing I like about him was that obviously he was really hungry. The desire was there. I think he was back where he likes to play. As I say, he's more of a touchline winger. And I think he's heavily involved with touches. You can see final third passes. His shots could be better. Maybe he had a great chance in the second half he didn't take. But he's now created 5 assists this season. He's creating chances, putting crosses into the box. And I think his energy and his work rate off the ball, it was a complete performance by Martinelli. He wasn't great at West Ham. Some will question, even myself, whether he should be playing this game. He's only scored 1 goal in 17 games, I think. But for all that, I thought his performance was electric on the day. First half, I think he was the one who was stressing that Leeds back line, and that's what led to Luke Ayling's challenge, I think. Yeah,
I completely agree, and that's what we're going to talk about now. I know you touched on it. It's a Stonewall red, and I'm going to give a bit of credit here.
Are you surprised that it wasn't given as a red straight away?
No, because I tell you why. Because it's a. I think it's very easy with the benefit of the replays and all that to see it and say, well, it was obviously a red. How did the ref not give it in real time? When I watched it on the TV, were you at the game?
No, I wasn't.
When I watched it on the TV, my instinct wasn't, that's a red card. I thought, he's gone in late, and I actually thought he got the ball and then the man, and maybe it was just seen as a bit over-aggressive. I could see why the ref... pulled
James,
out the...
James, I'll cut you straight out, mate. You can't dive in like that, 2-footed.
No, of course you
he
can't.
Wasn't off the ground.
But I don't think the ref saw that.
But you can't go in like that. You could see by the way he made that tackle, the way he went in 2-footed, sort of like dived into the player. Yeah. Martinelli saw it coming. Luckily for Martinelli, he saw it coming. He jumped literally as he saw that tackle coming. The fact the guy went in 2-foot, you can't tackle like that.
I agree. But
that not in the modern game.
Yeah, and VAR cleaned it up, so I don't know what the problem is.
Well, for me, I thought it was... When I saw it, I thought it was a red when I saw it.
Oh, fair enough.
I wasn't in the stadium, admittedly, so I was watching it on television. The moment I saw it, I thought red. Yeah. Straight away. Just the way that he went in 2-footed and the reaction of Martinelli, the way he lifted him off the ground. And he was trying to avoid the tackle. He knew it was what it was. And the way the Arsenal players reacted to the tackle straight away told you absolutely everything. It's a tackle that doesn't belong in football. It's a red card all day long.
No, listen, absolutely. Red card all day long.
They got it right. That's the main thing.
And they got it right. I think we're so... Me and you have done this, and everyone's done it. We have gone at VAR, and we've gone at referees, and I just think in this situation... I was watching it with a colleague. We were watching it. We could hear the commentary. And we didn't... And I don't think the commentary thought kind of immediately... Maybe they did. I can't remember. I don't think anyone thought... That's a red, like immediately. And if you did, fair play.
I did, yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, great eye. And I think you could see from the reaction on the ground as well, a few people knew what they saw. From the angle we had, I thought, oh, that looked a bit over the top or whatever. But I just think the ref called, he's given a yellow. They've gone to VAR James, and they've given a red.
Did you see Luke Ayling's reaction?
Oh, you could tell that he looked guilty.
When he got the yellow card, he took it straight away because he thought, I've got away with that. You could see it in his face. He knew straight away what he'd done. I think he was, that tackle was born out of frustration, the way the team were being ripped apart on his side, the fact that it had been a poor start by Leeds, the way that Martinelli was really making him look poor. And I just think he didn't like it. And I think that it was a frustrated sort of dangerous tackle. It was
embarrassing for him.
And then when he saw the referee got the yellow card out, his face went, yeah, okay. He thought immediately, I've got away with it. He knew he got away with that. I think he was expecting the red, James, when he came in that.
Yeah, you're probably right. Let us know, guys. Did you guys think immediately red? If you guys did, fair play. Jeannie says leg breaker, shouldn't need VAR. Fair enough. Armin says should be a double red. Jeannie again says the ref deserves a red for that yellow. Emmanuel says red all day. Luke Ayling didn't even complain. Ready TV says a crazy tackle. Yeah. Nazovo says the ref didn't see that. All I say is I'd love to. Do you remember when Jamie Carragher on Monday Night Football had the what's it called? VR, virtual reality goggles on, and he was sort of he put himself into the position of a player on a pitch.
Right, yeah.
I'd love to be in the ref's position and just see like what he's. I think it's very easy to judge what he saw or whatever, and go, how did you miss it? And then there's a lot going on or whatever. But I just think VAR did its job. So I'm content. They got to the right decision, and actually pretty swiftly. They were immediately looking at it, and they said, listen, you got to look at it. He did, gave a red. So I'm happy that the outcome was the right outcome. Whether he should have got it immediately or not, yeah, maybe. But ultimately, a red card, and Arsenal sort of cruising to that, at that point. You're thinking 2-0 up after 10 minutes, a red card after 30. Leeds have imploded. Rafinha had lost his mind.
He was lucky as well, wasn't he?
I thought he was, yeah, because he kept going and going. And if Martinelli's getting sent off for 2 small incidences against Wolves back-to-back, then, but anyway, I won't go into that. But Arsenal then just controlled midfield, and a player who kind of epitomised that was Mohamed Elneny. And his numbers were fantastic again, as we can see here.
Yeah, what a fantastic performance by Mohamed Elneny. As I said, he's come into the side now. He came in after the Southampton defeat, didn't he? And he's now played in 4 matches, and we won all 4. And it's by no means no less due to the fact that he's played so well in these games. He's come in, and I think what I like about him, he's very assured, crisp in his passing. He's almost like the old safe Elneny. Every now and then there's more progressive passing in him as well. He's showing that side of his game as well. And I think these numbers reflect just how good he was in the game. To complete 79 of 81 passes, accuracy, top 90s there, pass accuracy, even into the opposition half, not going backwards or sideways, going forwards now. And also off the ball, recoveries and tackles. A real shift, a real fine performance. He's been absolutely outstanding since he's come back into the team.
Yeah, he's been, I agree, he's been fantastic. And you are right, he's not just... It wasn't necessarily my criticism, but a lot of people's criticism were he plays it too safe, he goes backwards and sideways. No, he's really progressing us up the field. He's keeping the ball when he can and looking for that right pass, not just playing the pass because it's on, but actually passes with purpose. And that's what I've really enjoyed about Elneny since he's come in. And I think him and Xhaka, I wanted them to come back in for the Chelsea game to stable the ship, but they've done a lot more than that. They've come in and really given us a platform to build off in midfield. So huge credit to Elneny, and another top performance, and his numbers deserve mentioning there. Go back to the comments because I see them still coming in. Nathan says, red in the modern game, sure, but it wasn't as crazy or as dangerous as some are saying. I just think when you go in two-footed like that, it's the nature of it being reckless. So whether it's as aggressive or...
you can't tackle two-foot, can you?
Well, A, you can't in the rules, and B, you can't possibly have control of a tackle when you've got 2 feet off the ground. And I think that's what makes it...
To be fair, I mean, I don't think his 2 feet were off the ground, were they?
I think they were.
Well, I'll have to watch that back.
Because the ball then kind of... He does get the ball, but kind of with his arse. Like, it kind of goes through his legs, and then he kind of sits on it. I think
he was off the ground, but as he went into him, he had landed. The fact that he's 2-footed.
Yeah, that's what does it. Yeah.
Into Martinelli, you just can't tackle like that. And Martinelli, credit to him, he's trying to get out of the way. He can see what's coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Mihail, thank you, Mihail, says, agree with James. I didn't see it as a red on TV because I was focused on movement of other players and potential of the action. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe I was focused on the fact we'd won a corner. I don't know. Lem says Rafinha was lucky not to get a red too for his retraction or reaction.
Well,
I suppose
he got booked, didn't he, for what he said to the referee? And luckily, a couple of Leeds players were literally pulling him away because he wanted to chase the referee. Yeah. I think had they not done that, he would have.
Yeah, it could have got worse for him. Yeah, I agree. Zeke says VAR didn't overturn it. It was the ref who did it when he went to the monitor. No, but Zeke, that the way it will work is the VAR will say to the referee, you've got something to look at here, you should reconsider your decision. They don't want to re-referee the game, but they want to give the referee the opportunity to correct his errors. So you got to give VAR credit there. What else have we got here? Mihail agrees. Thank you, Mihail. It's me and you. It's me and you against the world. Arthur says these referees need to wear GoPros and have their communication aired. I tell you what, that would be interesting to see what they're seeing. And we know in rugby that we hear what referees are saying, but I don't know if football's ready for that, quite frankly. Right, let's go on to, we talked about Elneny. we've got a couple stats we just want to bring up here on the corner of the screen. The contribution from young players, and it's been said a lot of the time. I say a lot of times. It's been said throughout the season, but these youngsters, and you can chuck Nketiah in there now, with that Fab Four. They are the reason we have a genuine shot at playing Champions League football next year. And we look at those goal contributions for players. Yeah, Odegaard 23, sure, but the rest 22 and under. It's incredible.
Yeah, fantastic, isn't it? Nketiah joined that elite band there of young players who've been doing it so well, goals and assists, and look at their ages. Saka and Martinelli only 20, Nketiah 22, Smith Rowe 21. Fantastic numbers there. Goal, assist for the season. We have got a fine core of young players, and I think that whatever happens this year, I think the key for Arteta now is to sprinkle some quality around these young players, some experience in the right areas to help them get to the next level. But they are the reason why we are where we are. Sort of 4th place, 4 points clear of Tottenham at the moment, with 3 games to go. And credit to all of them. Saka, who's been our star boy, has been outstanding this season. Smith Rowe and Martinelli on that left-hand side, when they've come in, have each done fine jobs. But credit to Eddie Nketiah. A lot of people say AFTV have been dissing him. He's come in, whatever you think, he's come in and really done well for us in these games when we needed it, because the team was dying after those 3 defeats. We needed a bit more energy up top, and he's come in and delivered. What I like about him, as I said last week, he's not frightened to take a shot this left.
No, he's absolutely not.
And he's got tremendous confidence, and he's coming in and he's been superb, and he joins that elite brand of young players now on those numbers.
Yeah, fair play to him. 10 goal contributions for Nketiah.
4 games now. Since he's been back in the team. Fantastic.
And he's been playing, he's been playing really well. And you include his hold up, you include his link with midfield, his ability to drive past players, win a foul. Yeah, Nketiah's been absolutely fantastic. All right, guys, we're gonna have some fun now. The North London derby, and what we want to see and what we want to do. And this is your chance as well, because we rarely get to do this. Ask you guys what you would do. How would you line up? Now, we've seen some suggestions coming in. Send us as much or as little detail as you want. Try to give us a little bit. Let us know, do you want to see a back 3, back 5, back 4? Does Tomiyasu keep his place at left back? Does he move to right back? Does Tavares come back in? Does Ben White start? You let us know in the comment section as we build our 11, and then we'll be reading out some of yours to see what you guys want to do. So let's take it to the tactical pad and get it open here. Spurs versus Arsenal. Now, we've already got what we're pretty confident is going to be the Spurs 11. I think Conte's got a trick up his sleeve or two, but generally I don't know why he'd want to mess with a formula that's really worked for him. That's pretty much the team that has gone and done the business at Anfield and the Etihad. So, do we agree Ramsdale keeps his place?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, agreed. Okay. So now, what do you want to see, Graham? What does your starting 11 look like?
Well, my starting 11, I think we got to match them up, James. And I want to see us go back to a back 3.
Okay.
Because I think the pressure's going to be on Tottenham, right? Tottenham were great at Liverpool, playing sort of like a back 3, a low block, and looking to hit Song and Kane in behind. If we go there, I think, and play 2 offensively, 2 up high, which we like to do. We've seen it before at Tottenham. They kill us in behind. We have a lot of ball in the first 20 minutes.
Sure.
Dominate the play without creating anything. Then bang, 1 ball in behind. Song's in 1-0. So I would like to see us be a bit more pragmatic in this game, like we did under Emery a few years ago when we went there and got a 1-1. When we defended really well with a low block and hit them really on counter-attack. And Aaron Ramsey scored the goal. Had Aubameyang not missed the penalty, I think we would have won that game. So I would like to see us match them in formation. And not be too open, and I'd like to see us sort of like stop them from getting runs in from behind. So I'm going for a back 3. I think Ben White comes back in for me alongside Holding in the middle and Gabriel.
Okay.
That's my 3.
White, Holding, Gabriel is your 3. Okay.
So that matches up against their front 3. Obviously, the key is when we're out of possession, I want us defending in a 5, and then our wing backs can get forward.
So who are the wing backs?
So obviously Tomiyasu and Saka. I'm going to play Tomiyasu on the left hand side. I know a lot of people are saying it is a risk to play Tomiyasu. To be honest, I'm almost like tempted to sort of like move him on to the Song side actually.
Yeah. You think of switching him?
Yeah, switching him over. I want Tommy to take care of Song.
Yeah.
And that means Saka's got. Unfortunately, I know this is probably what Arteta would never do, but I'm sort of like going to have him on the left hand side. That doesn't mean to say he's going to play as a left back. He's going to look to get forward when we get forward.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I'm going to have like Elneny and Xhaka sitting in the two in the middle.
All right, let's get them in. So we've got Xhaka and Elneny. Okay.
Yeah, and then I want Odegaard slightly on. So you've got those three there. It's like a 3-4-1-2. So I've got Odegaard there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I want Nketiah and Martinelli. Martinelli on the left.
Mm-hmm. Let's get them in. Martinelli and Eddie and Nketiah.
Eddie there. To hit them on the break. So that is what I want.
Kind of a 3-4-1-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, to me, is... I'm always a big fan when you play top teams away from home who play a back three to match them up. We sort of like early in the season we didn't match teams up. We played a back three and we struggled. The moment we sort of like went, for example, at Stamford Bridge the other week.
Yeah.
Similar sort of performance team that night. We literally matched them up with a 3-4-1-2, didn't we? Or
Yeah.
a 3-4-3, whatever you call it. And literally, we played, scored our goals sort of in transition.
Yeah.
And was solid, defensively solid. And I think you're going to need to be against Tottenham. You can't be too high up the pitch. This is going to be a game where you've got to remember Tottenham have got to win this game, James.
Yeah,
they are literally they're 4 points behind. Even if they win, they're still going to be a point behind us. So they can't. If the game is tight after 65, 70 minutes, they've got to throw players forward.
Yeah.
So the important thing to me is that we defend well as a unit, and I think this gives us the best shape and opportunity to do that, and stops them from sort of like playing in behind. I think we will have to be careful. Kane's going to come deep and pick the ball up, so we've got to have a plan for that. I think they have got one or two useful players, obviously in their front three.
Yeah.
And I think that we've got players who can hurt them in transition. So I think, I would all for a tight game, not where we open the game up too much and allow them the freedom to score the sort of goals they like scoring.
Yeah. Well, let's build what some people have been wanting to see, judging by the comment section. Because interestingly, you can use these same 11 players to go for a completely different shape. We've seen some people wanting White to come in at right back, Tomiyasu to left back, and then everything else plays out in the way we've sort of been used to. That's a potential option. I mean, you struggle to, win too many headers against that back four. That would do all right. So that's definitely an option. Keep sending your comments in, guys, for what you guys want to see. We will try and get one or two suggestions up on the iPad here. I'd go for this. I'd take Holding out. White goes to centre back with Gabriel. Tomiyasu right back. Where is my favourite player, Cedric?
You're going to play him left back?
I think I would. Because right-footed up against Kulusevski's left foot. I think... Is that my team otherwise? Yeah, I think that is my team. Yeah, that's it. I wouldn't change anything else. Because I think up against Kulusevski, I think... Listen, Kulusevski's a top player. I'm not saying I don't think Cedric will exactly have him in his pocket, but I think he'll suit him coming onto his left foot and then Cedric's right foot. I also think the one thing Spurs do so well is they get this front three very narrow, with Kane dropping into this space and Son always making that run in between sort of centre back and full back. Let's get a ball in play here. That sort of ball in beyond like that. And I just would want Tomiyasu on his shoulder, just constantly like that. And then Saka can drop into a right wing back position with Odegaard pulling out wide. He's done that. He did that at Stamford Bridge. I'd rather see a hybrid back five with Tomiyasu as a right centre back moving to right back and Saka going forward, as opposed to us messing around too much with the back four. I just think go into this with what we know, keep it simple. And what I like about that team is you've pretty much got your full back four, except for Cedric at left back, and really we understand why he's coming in for Tavares and the job he could do on Kulusevski.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I'm worried about this game, I have to say, and I feel for Arteta because I don't think there's an obvious way to approach this game. I mentioned on Forever Arsenal podcast, which is out now, go check it out on AFTV VIP, that, you know, it's hard for Arteta. If you win, you've secured it. So do you go for it? If you lose, it's still in your hands. So do you go for it because it's high risk, high reward, and you've got that second chance, or do you play for a draw, knowing that, or a draw and hope you might scrape a win because you know, well, a draw keeps us 4 points in front and keeps us in really in control.
Well, of course, we only have to get.
How do you approach it?
We only have to get a draw, of course, but I don't think you play for a draw. I think if you play for a draw, you could come unstuck. It's all about being pragmatic and sensible and trying to win your duels, set your team up to actually, so you're in the best position to try and win the game. I'm not saying because you flip to a back three, that doesn't, and you're defending slightly deeper, that doesn't mean you're playing for a draw. It's just because you can be just as offensive in a 3-4-1-2 shape. Just thinking about it, I'm looking at their two fullbacks, Emerson and Sessegnon. I think they were pretty good at Anfield.
They were
and I thought that Emerson Royal was really good on the night, and the left wing back got forward the cross in for the goal. So maybe I might. Do you know what I might do with mine? I might actually put Saka up against Emerson Royal.
Yeah.
You know, Saka and Tommy. So I play Tommy on the left hand. Sorry, put Tommy and put Saka up against Sessegnon for the simple reason that I think that if he's got to worry about, if Sessegnon's got to worry about Saka, maybe he's not going to get forward so much.
Right.
So that's what I'm thinking, that when we get the ball, if he's got to worry more about defending, I don't want him to be in a position where he can get forward and like he did at Anfield and create like he did. So that might, albeit that obviously then you're relying on Tommy.
So would you have Tommy Asu left wing back?
Yeah.
And then you'd bring Holding.
Yeah.
That was your plan. Yeah.
So that would be. I might sort of change him over. That does that. I mean, obviously you've got the danger of Song then, but to be honest, you've got to think partly about what you've got to do offensively as well, and in this game. So that's what I would do. That's what I would do. I'm a big fan when you go away from home against teams who play a three, match them up in a three. So you've got your three centre halves to take care of their two main forwards as well. So that's what I would do.
There's options there for Arteta. It'll be really interesting to see what he goes for. Let's just see what the comment section are saying. Opolot says Ramsdale. He'd go with Tomiyasu, Tavares, Gabriel and White. So he's gone for a very standard back four there. Elneny, Xhaka with Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard and Lacazette comes back. I could see why Lacazette's experience.
I think he might have a role to play later on. When we're sort of like if coming on 20 minutes from the end to hold the ball up and sort of like as an outlet, something like that. But I don't see him starting. Obviously Eddie's sort of like no, that's position down. I think the one thing I noticed, James, this is an interesting stat for you. I think that in the Premier League, most crosses by Arsenal have met their target this season, 23%.
Wow, more than any other team.
More than any other team.
Wow.
So that just shows that when we get forward, we talked about the cutback earlier, and we talked about you not imagine that of an Arsenal team where you used to sing a lot of crosses in.
Another way of not.
So if we can get forward, we got to make the most. When we get forward into good wide areas, we got to make the most of it. And I think, as always, first goal was always key in these games. I think we haven't won at White Hart Lane now since the Toilet Bowl Stadium since 2014. That fantastic Thomas Rosicky goal, of course. So, I think home advantage is massive in these North London derbies. We've got a great record at home against them. They've got a great record at home against us. So, for all that, I think it will be a tight game. And I think they are under enormous pressure. Not only under pressure to win the game because of the table pressure. I think, we're on a 4-game winning streak. They are inconsistent, but they have got two elite forwards who on their day are capable of winning any game.
Completely agree.
We have to give them that respect.
I agree. Lodger says we can play 4 at the back. Apologies, guys. With Cedric left back or Tommy Asu left back, White at right back, perhaps to deal with Son. Rather see Tommy on the right with Cedric on the left to deal with Kulusevski. There we go, very similar point we were making. Ready TV says, not worried about Conte. I think Conte should be worried about Arteta. Love it. Tevin, thank you very much. Says, you guys are awesome. Keep the same side and allow Elneny to double up on the right with Cedric. Really appreciate that. Thank you. What else have we got? Arthur says, we need Holding to deal with crosses. Hector says, you want to see 5 at the back like against Chelsea with Saka at right wing back and Tommy at left wing back. Very similar to I think what you're suggesting. Terrasai says Arteta needs to go for the win. Lem says we have to be clinical in the final third, possibly score first 2. Jacob says this is all relying on White being back in time, guys. Yeah, absolutely, you're right. Anton says Spurs have to win the game while a draw is fine for us. Yeah, agreed. That's what makes the dynamic so interesting in this game. Hector, yeah, he makes the same point. Very good point he makes about going the same route we did against Chelsea. Hector says, is Smith Rowe better than Gabriel on the left if we're playing a back 3? I think that's an interesting point as well. Arsenal Forever says, kill the game at their ground and give us breathing space for the last 2 games. JY says, let's go for the win and get the job done at White Hart Lane. Guys, some great comments there. Thank you very much.
It would
and
be
great
great,
suggestions.
wouldn't it, if we actually achieved Champions League football on their turf, wouldn't it? I mean, we've won 2 league titles on their turf. Yeah. As many as they've won in their history, of course. So, but it would be fantastic and a fitting way to do it. But we also know that if we are not capable of doing it on the day, we've still, we've got that cushion now. We've got that 4-point cushion. So
yeah, agreed. Couple round-up stats just to finish off. Arsenal have now won 38 points at home in the Premier League this season. Only Liverpool with 45 and City with 44 have won more this campaign. That is very good. You've got to be picking up your points at home. Only Liverpool with 13 have won more Premier League games in 2022 than Arsenal with 10. I like that one. After 3 straight defeats, Arsenal have now won each of their last 4. Chelsea, Man United, West Ham and Leeds. Arsenal's record when scoring first in the 21-22 Premier League season is now 120, drawn 1, lost 3.
Let's score first on Thursday.
Let's bloody score first. Arsenal have now won 10 and lost 0 of their last 12 games versus Leeds. Arsenal have conceded a goal from 50% of the shots on target they've faced in their last 9 league games and haven't kept a clean sheet for 7 games, their worst run since April 2021. We do seem to not concede a lot of chances and yet concede quite a lot of goals. That's for another day. Let's round off with this one. Arsenal have 52 wins. What's this? Arsenal. I've misread that. Let's move to a different one. Arsenal now second place for wins in Premier League history with 618, overtaking Chelsea of 616. Both clubs are well behind Man United, who have the most ever wins in Premier League history with 702. And as we know, if we win on Thursday, Champions League final is... Champions League football is ours, although I've just been told that a super chat's come in last minute, so I'm going to open this up and have a little look at what's come through. Swanava says, against Emerson Royale, who'd be the better option, Smith Rowe or Martinelli? Let's discuss, please. Quickly, who'd be yours?
Wow. I think I'm going to stick with Martinelli on the fact goal threat. I know Smith Rowe's got great goals this season. I can't say he hasn't, but I think Martinelli, after that performance against Leeds, I think he earns the right to stay in the team. Plus the fact I think Smith Rowe is not quite 100% fit. I think that's one of the reasons why he's managing him a bit. But no, it's a hard call for Arteta to make, 2 players, and I think moving forward to next season, he's got to find a way somehow to get both these players into the team. Yeah,
but hey. Not a bad option. Graham, a big thank you. Really enjoyed that. Enjoyed very good win against Leeds, guys. Shame. I just think the scoreline didn't reflect how dominant we were, but hopefully the numbers we've shown you definitely do. We didn't even talk about Leeds equaliser because what's there to say? Equaliser for goal because it was shocking.
Well, I'll just say it was shocking marking. Basically, they got a flick on at the near post, and he ran off our defender at the back post and stuck it away. But
no, exactly.
In the end, that was their only shot on target in the game, of course. Well, they had the other one, the Rodrigo flick.
Yeah, does it count as a shot on target? I suppose it does.
But in the end, we got the job done. That's the main thing.
We absolutely did. Big win, Arsenal, but a bigger task this Thursday, and
You're going to be nervous in this, aren't you?
I'm going to be I'm going to be a nervous wreck. I think I'm going to be on the watch long. I'm going to be silent the whole game.
Can I just close with this, right?
Yeah.
I went. Obviously, I was at Ayling when we won the league in 2004. I was actually at Wembley for 2 semi-finals, Arsenal-Tottenham, right? 91, I was there when Gascoigne put that free kick past Seaman. We won the league that year, but we went out to them 3-1 in the cup. 2 years later, we were back at Wembley playing them in a semi-final again, and Tony Adams scored the winning goal. That's the nervous I've ever been at a football match, because normally you're always nervous in the game, but I just did not want to lose 2 semi-finals to Tottenham Hotspur. That'd be on our history forever, wouldn't it? And I've never been so relieved as when Adams headed in that goal. So I know what it's like when you feel the nerves in these occasions, against our bitterest rivals. But I just remember that game, that 93, the relief that we got over the line in that game, having lost the previous semi-final. And of course, then we played another semi-final against them and beat them 2-1, didn't we? So, but at the time, I don't think that was at Wembley, of course, but that's the nervous I've ever been at a football match, James. I just thought I'd share that.
Yeah, but there you go.
It's a big game. It's a massive game, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Still get nervous for these?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
but when you're in a stadium, it's a different sort of nerves, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. You're heading every ball out with them. It's like one of those. Guys, we will be covering all of it, obviously, all week. Check out all the preview content starting today. Literally, we started previewing it ourselves here, and everything coming out. We'll be looking ahead towards that massive North London derby, and of course, we'll be live across Thursday for the match, the watch-along, the reaction, the build-up, everything. Massive game. Is this the week Arsenal can steal Champions League football, or at least take another massive step towards securing it for next season? Who thought that we'd be here saying this after some of the conversations we've had?
This end of this, we were bottom of the table on September the 11th.
Yeah.
3 straight defeats.
Yeah. 9 points behind them.
And now with 3 games left, we're 4 points clear of 5th place, with a great chance of bringing back Champions League football to Arsenal for the first time in 6 years, is it?
Yeah.
So let's just hope that the boys do it on Thursday.
Come on, Arsenal. Get it done. Guys, a massive thank you for all your comments and all your being part of the conversation. That's why we love doing these live shows as well with you guys. Let us know if you're enjoying them in the comment section. Do you prefer the shorter shows? Do you prefer these longer, sort of live, more discussion, more in depth? You let us know, because we are preparing for next season. We want to bring you guys the best show possible and whatever it is you enjoy. So do let us know in the comment section. We're always there replying as well and discussing with you. Smash a like on the video if you enjoy. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and you'll get all the updates on the North London derby content coming out. We're going to round up there. Big thanks. See you later.